All right, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachalak, Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostle, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching his word with 100% truth and sincerity, and unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayat Adawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. All right, this afternoon's lesson is going to be about self-reflection, which is something that we all need to do, because there's always personal adjustments and improvements that need to be made. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, okay? Because we all, even though we're struggling struggling to better ourselves while being in this captivity, but there are times when we make rash decisions. We tend to put ourselves in a bit of a bind. That's why it's always that's why you always have to think before you act. Sometimes it can be detrimental if you don't think before you act. All right, this is going to be the book of 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians. It's going to be chapter 13. Second Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. And it says, "Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves, know ye not your own selves. Know that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates." Okay, so, test yourselves. Okay? Test yourselves, prove yourselves. Examine to see if this is what you really want. Okay? This truth. Okay? Because, coming into this thing, Sirach 2:1, it says, roughly paraphrased, "My son, when thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." That's why, when you apply these scriptures to your daily life, just know that Yahweh by Shem Shai is going to put you through some things. Okay? Whether it be for punishment or a simple test, to see how you're going to react and what you're going to do. This is part of the walk, man. This is part of that walk. Being put through certain things and, learning from these experiences. Verse 6, and it says, "But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates." And what's a reprobate? Someone who's a failure, a reject, someone who's just simply not going to get this. Verse 7, "Now I pray to the Most High that ye do no evil, not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do which is honest, though we be as reprobates." So, don't do things. How can I put it? Okay, let me read the script again. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 7. "Now I pray to the Most High that ye do no evil, not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest, though we be as reprobates." So, take the low road, man. Do the right thing, even though it may seem, like it's the right thing, even though if you had done the other thing, which would have been the perverse thing, the wrong thing, that shows that you have no integrity, even though it seemed like it would have been better for you for a time, but it puts a it puts a stain on your integrity. It puts a stain on the type of person you are. It puts a stain on your reputation. So sometimes, you know, being in this truth, man, as I read in fact, let me see if I could, let's see if I could find that, so I could give me a second. Nope. Salakia. See if it's in a previous chapter here. No. But getting back to it. So, you know, verse 5, going back to examining yourself. So, you know, look yourself in the mirror, think about what you need to work on. You know, what is it that's not clicking here? What is it that you're not understanding? So that way we can attack the problem, solve it, and move on. Okay? And then, you know, I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. Okay? Verse 8, for we can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. Okay? So, being in this thing, you know, we can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. And that's what we're working for. We're working for the truth of all matters. Okay? Now we're going to go to 1 Corinthians. It's going to be chapter 11, starting at verse 23. And it says, for I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahushua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. 25. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. Verse 26, for as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come. 27, wherefore whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. Verse 28, but let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. Okay, so I'm going to read verse 28 again. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. So, coming into this ministry, this walk of faith, man, you have to examine yourself. So, you know, so be cautious and really think about, you know, before you drink that cup and eat that bread, because, which is this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, this walk of faith in general. Because if you drink it unworthily, and if you're not sincere about sincere about how you're supposed to walk with integrity and uprightness, and if you walk in a perverse manner, you know, as it says back in verse 27, wherefore whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. Okay? So you will be held accountable. So you really have to think about it, because by us putting in this work, you know, we had to examine ourselves, and we still examine ourselves daily, to, you know, to eat that bread and drink of that cup. Okay? Going through the trials and tribulations that we all go through individually, but as a whole, we deal with we deal with it. Verse 30, or verse 29. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. Okay? So, if you eateth and drinketh unworthily, okay, you're heading towards that road of, judgment. Okay? Because there's certain things in the society, man, that you have to move wisely and think wisely in all aspects. Verse 30, for this cause, many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. 31, for if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. Basically saying, if we examine ourselves, and correct ourselves, then we wouldn't have to, be judged by others. Verse 32, but when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord. Okay, the Lord gives us that correction, the punishment, that we should not be condemned with the world. Okay? Chastisement and correction is to make us better. Shows that Yahweh Shema Shai cares and that he's still dealing with us rather than just leaving us to, get, knocked off the map or tossed back into the world. Okay? So this is going to be Psalms 139. 139 verse 23. And it says, search me, O power, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. So, pray to the Lord to, to work out those imperfections in you. How do we do that? Through prayer, man. And prayer is a big thing in our culture. Okay? We pray to the Most High that, He strengthens us. He gives us the spirit, a stronger spirit of discernment and understanding, improves us in every way, shape, or form, so that way we be prepared for the challenges that are coming ahead. And we're especially going to need prayer and faith for the time that's coming. Excuse me. This is going to be the book of Lamentations. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 38. And it says, out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good. Okay. Verse 39, wherefore doeth a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins. Verse 40, let us search and try our ways, and turn again to the Lord. Okay? Going back to verse 38, out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good. Because remember, Yahweh Shema Shai is all about balance. Okay? So, and wherefore doeth a living man complain? A man complaining about his punishment for his, his iniquity. So let us search. So again, verse 40, let us search and try our ways, and turn again to the Lord. So let us search and try our ways. So let us examine how the way that we do things. What are we doing? How can we make this better? How can we make this easier? How can we make it simpler, so that way for the long run, it benefits us? And turn again to the Lord. There's your answer. Turn to Yahweh Shema Shai for instruction, direction, and all the such. Okay, I'm going to go up a script. This is Lamentation chapter 3, verse 21. It says, this I recall to my mind, therefore have I hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. Okay? So, the Lord is merciful and kind, man, but, do not push him. Don't test him. Okay? Verse 23, they are new every morning. great is thy faithfulness. 24. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. 25. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. Verse 26, it is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. In verse 27, it is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silence, because he hath borne it upon him. Okay? So, patience. And that is part of the examination process, is to have patience, because this is what is ultimately required, is patience. And the word patience means to suffer. And with this patience, we have all the time that we need to study, and keep a balance. Study, eat right, exercise. It just takes discipline and patience to do this. Okay? And I'm going to close out here with Sirach. This is going to be the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 18, verse 20. It says, before judgment examine thyself, and in the day of visitation thou shalt find mercy. Okay? So before judgment examine thyself, man, because in the day of visitation thou shalt find mercy. That leads me right back to another scripture in the book of Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, chapter 12. Chapter 12, verse 22. So, Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 22. And it says, therefore, whereas thou doest chasten us, thou scourged our enemies 1,000 times more, to the intent that when we judge, we should carefully think of thy goodness, and when we ourselves are judged, we should look for mercy. So, that's part of the examination process, man, is just don't put yourself in a position to where, you could be judged because of something you did. So self-reflection is it's a daily thing. You wake up in the morning, or however you start your day, you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, today's a new day, so what can you do to make it better? No matter if your current situation is, eating away at you, or it's bothering you, at the end of the day, you can let it bother you, or you can just simply let it go and just do the best you can to move on and not make the same mistake, and try to correct the situation that you're in. All right? So I hope that this was an edifying lesson to the body and to the few sincere believers and listeners. Once again, man, self-reflection. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, because it's something I need to do more often. All right? And with that, Lord willing, it was edifying. And with closing, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostle, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayat Davadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharallah, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom, Barakatam.